What's up everybody? Thank you guys as always for stopping by the channel. Today we're talking about this new crime drama that's streaming on Netflix. It's called The Devil All the Time. It's a moody time period tale with a loaded cast. So let's get into what this movie delivers in terms of cinematic entertainment.
Not because I want to.
The story in this one is set in rural southern Ohio and West Virginia. It's one of those films that follows multiple different characters who will inevitably cross paths. The central focus is on a young boy and his father in the time post-World War II, and it explores how this boy's relationship with his father will end up sculpting his life as he grows into a young man. The story also does capture life in the region during the time, one heavily influenced by the Word of God, and it portrays how these religious messages can impact and influence people in different ways. So I would say, for the sake of not spending 5 or 10 minutes telling you guys what this movie is about, I would say that pretty much is the gist of it. Now, like I said, the cast is loaded, and that was what appealed me to this film overall, because I mean, from top to bottom, the quality never lacks. You have Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Haley Bennett, Riley Keough, Jason Clarke, Bill Skarsgård, Mia Wasikowska, Sebastian Stan, and more that do show up in this movie. So for a film that relies heavily on its characters, it offers a fantastic lineup. The first thing I would say about this movie is that it certainly won't be for everybody's taste. It's based on the novel by the same name by Donald Ray Pollock, who also serves as the narrator in this film adaptation, and to me, the story here does play out like a book would read, and it does result in a very methodical, slow burn of a narrative set in the backwoods of the Midwest during the late 50s and into the mid-60s. It plays out with a more grounded, realistic progression. It does lack a lot of that traditional Hollywood theatrics that some people do enjoy, but for me, that was something that I actually liked. This film centered on character development, so where some films would fill in backdrops with exposition and conversations, this movie actually plays it out for you to see, to take in the information visually without simply being told this is how character A grew up or these are the hardships that character B experienced. Getting to see this growth in the characters and spending that added time with them, I felt helped get a better understanding of just who they were, what motivated them, and where they were coming from, and that was something that was bolstered greatly by the fantastic cast of talented actors. The performances here were all solid for their roles, and everybody was really able to leave their imprint on the film no matter what size their role was. The runtime in this movie was over 2 hours. I think that was both a good thing and a small hindrance at times. I mean, in terms of getting to see some awesome performances and being able to spend more time with these characters, it was a positive, but as the story progresses and it swaps between the multiple plot lines, it did feel a little long in certain stretches. Now, don't get me wrong, the story was without question interesting. It was very intriguing. I also felt it was nicely structured. It was able to jump around these multiple timelines without feeling confusing or fragmented. There was a flow to it, but the pace of that flow I think was a little too slow at times. I think it could have shaved off a minute here and there throughout to just tighten up the pace overall without hindering the impact of the closing act or the detail in the story. Because despite my genuine interest in where this story was going, I did check the time on a couple of occasions just to kind of see where we were at. So for that aspect, I think it could be slightly fatiguing for those who prefer just quicker paced movies. I also think being able to invest in the world of this story with its tones and its themes is something that could be hit and miss with people as well. In my perspective, the era, the people that lived in it, and how life was just lived during the time was fascinating to see play out, but it's hard to see that everybody is going to like the places that this film takes them, as it can be a little sinister, a little bizarre at times, and heavily rooted with religious undertones that just may not be to everybody's taste. Myself, I found the religious aspect of this story a little interesting. I felt that the power of religion over the people in the region was nicely captured. It also showed how the depths of a person's faith could be preyed on by others. I mean, because most of the characters in this story are influenced by religion in one way or another, and it was kind of fascinating to see how faith impacted various people in this story and how it really guided their actions. I enjoyed the closing act. I thought it delivered solid tension, strong moments of uneasiness, so where the runtime may have wavered here and there in the second act, I do think the movie closes out on a very rewarding note. It captures the intensity of the performances, and it's a satisfying culmination of a film that follows multiple character arcs, and overall I enjoyed it. So I'll give The Devil All the Time a solid 80% on the meter. I loved what the cast delivered in this one. I felt their characters were more than enough to get me through a story that honestly did take its time getting to where it needed to go. It creates a subtly grim but seemingly realistic look at what life was like during this era, and I felt it succeeded in creating a story that was seedy, foreboding, and chilling, which was more than enough to escape into. So if you have a Netflix account, I would recommend just giving this movie a shot and seeing if the cast grabs you. Now for today's My Silver Screen recommendations, I have a few other movies that also deliver interlocking storylines. The first being Crash from 2004, one that also delivers a solid cast. Next would be 2000's Traffic from Steven Soderbergh, another great ensemble piece. And finally Babel from 2006, starring Cate Blanchett and Brad Pitt. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.